Settled. Today we're going to talk about a new feature that we've recently launched as an upgrade and an enhancement to the site. Um, when you log in, you'll be on your dashboard, and over to the left, you're going to notice we have an overnight calculator. What that is designed to do is, quite simply put, calculate the number of overnights that may be applicable to a custodial situation, and so you can make sure that you're using an accurate calculation on any child support calculations you're doing, say on worksheet C. It's divided into three parts: regular visitation, summer visitation, and holiday visitation. What we have done, back into it, we've looked at the holidays and the summers, and we've looked at the differing school schedules across the state of South Carolina. And we've seen that averaging out the Christmas breaks, you get a total of about 16 days per year. Hence, when we look at the alternating 8-8, this is balanced over a 2-year period. So even though one period of a traditional Christmas 1, Christmas 2 is shorter than is the other, when you do it over a 2-year period, it averages. So you'll see ultimately what a parent is going to have, or parents are going to have, when you look at it in the ongoing approach to the calculation. Same is true with Easter spring break. Typically what we see across the state of South Carolina is an average of a week for Easter spring break and for Thanksgiving. Other holidays we've included down here to include things like Mother's Day, Father's Day, if those are put into the mix. Candidly, if Mother's Day and Father's Day are put in, you can kind of wash things through because it would balance out between the parents, or you can put it in to get the exact amount. Summers, we have looked across the state of South Carolina, and there's a good degree of varying across the state. So to ease the program and to get into the ease the use of the program and make it applicable across the state, we've used an average of 76 days for a summer visitation. That's just shy of 11 weeks, which is what the average is, it appears to be, across the state. So if, for instance, it's alternating on any of these, you're simply going to click the alternating button. But let's say, for instance, you have a standpoint to where out of the Easter spring break, one parent only gets one weekend. And what you would put through here is, instead of that, the alternating, if it was 3 nights over a weekend, it would vary to 6-3. In other words, out of the 9 nights, 6 nights with one parent, 3 with the other. Say you have a situation to where one party is always required to work, say in the case of a first responder or someone who is required to work on particular holidays, and it would shy, instead of the 16 days, say you took it through and it lowered it off instead of 16 to where someone is going to get 2 more, then in that scenario you can come back in and adjust. Say you have a situation to where over the Thanksgiving holiday, instead of the full amount, one parent simply wants a 2-day period. So you can have the ability, within the number of holidays that you have, you can come through, if the parent is using less than the alternating, come in and address it that way. Same thing with the summer. If, for instance, you have a regular weekend visitation schedule that's going to continue over the summer, and a parent is going to pick up 3 weeks, 2 of which would be they're going to have 3 weeks that would be in complement to their regular weekend visitation. Out of 3 weekends, 21 days, a parent would already have 4 days. So you would have to do a little math on the front end. If there's a 3-week period where 2 would be weekends they would otherwise have, and they're doing every other weekend, 21 minus 4, you get down to 17. So then what you have to do is notice that that's included in that. So say the visiting parent is only going to have 21 days, 17 plus the 4, 21, then you would back this down to 21 days they would have out of the summer, and it'll be balanced against that average amount. If you're alternating, simply click the alternating option there. Regular visitation. Normally what we do is we do it on a recurring 14-day schedule. If someone, for instance, has every other weekend, Friday night and Saturday night, that's 2 nights, and say in the off week they have an overnight Thursday, well, that out of 14 days is going to be 3 overnights. If the visiting parent had Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, as well as an off week, say Thursday or midweek, an off week, midweek visit, that's going to be 4 overnights, and you simply would calculate through that way. So if we look at a every other weekend with Friday to Sunday evening, Friday night and Saturday night, then an off week, say Wednesday night. That's going to be 3 out of 14 overnights. If they alternate the summers and alternate the holidays with calculating, that's going to be 110 overnights. If, for instance, you went back to what I had mentioned earlier and say just 3 total weeks out of the summer, that'll drop from 110 down to 93. If you went in and adjusted the holidays or otherwise, it would work through there. So, in a simple approach now, by simply defining the number of days in a rotation, and if for some reason it went out to, say, a 3-week schedule, 21 days, and you had 4 days out of 21, you can again come in and calculate those nights as well. So, all you need to do to use the calculator is define the nights in the regular rotation, define the visitation, the overnight for the visiting parents, select your summers and the holidays, press calculate, and you have your days that you can use for either looking at the total number of overnights they would have in the visitation time and then to translate over and be able to use in the appropriate child support calculators. So, as always, if you have any questions, any comments, email us at info or support@settled.com. And thank you so much for your continued use and support of Settled.